guys, and welcome to MyES TV How To. Today we are going to be looking at how to write a formal email. Now, in this little, let's call it a mini series, we also have casual emails and semi-formal emails. You can find those in the description at the bottom. So the difference between, let's say, other English and formal English is the same as formal language everywhere. The important thing when you're speaking formally is to put as much distance between yourself and the request or what you're saying, right? So let's say, for example, I want water. That's my request. Give me water. I want water. Those are very direct, very to the point, and of course not formal. So if I want to be formal, what do? I add this element of possibility. And so modal verbs, whenever you're trying to be formal in English, are your friend, modal verbs. So I want water can become, excuse me, could I have some water? Ooh, possibility. Or may I have some water? Ooh, I don't know, what may? Immediately, these are much more pleasant and polite because I made it a question and I introduced this idea of possibility. If I want to be even more formal, I could say, excuse me, would it be possible for me to have a glass of water? Wow, I mean, it's hypothetical. You cannot get more abstract or formal than that. So modal verbs, modal verbs, modal verbs, modal verbs. So let's look at how to start a formal email because this is important as it sets the tone and the register. You have two possibilities here. You either know the recipient or you have no idea who you're sending it to, for example, for a job application or you're just writing to a company in general. If you know the person, here is how you should start a formal email. Dear, and then the title. Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Mr. is for any gentleman. Mrs. is for a married woman. And Ms. is for a woman who is not married, or perhaps you don't know if she's married. Because remember, Mrs. usually is followed by the married woman's last name, which tends to be her husband's. If you don't know who you're writing to, then of course you can't start with Dear Mr. Who, Mrs. Who, I have no idea. In that case, you write to whom it may concern. Every single word here has to be capitalized, and then there is a colon instead of a comma. Pretty fancy, huh? Now, let's look at what comes next to introduce your email. Usually, if you're writing a formal email, you want to start by introducing yourself or stating who you are, even if you know the person. Some examples can be, Dear Mrs. Jones, my name is Georgia, and I am writing for, about, with, blah, blah, blah. It depends what comes next. Or if you'd like to include the reason that you're writing, you can say, Dear Mr. Jones, my name is Georgia, and I am writing with regards to the position I saw advertised on your website. If that's too much, you can always just say, my name is Georgia, and I'm writing about the position I saw advertised on your website, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget your modal verbs. You could also say something like this. Check this out. Would you be able to let me know as soon as possible? Would you be able to let me know as soon as you get any additional information regarding the meeting, apartment, appointment, whatever? You could also say something like, please let me know if there's anything else you would like me to do. Remember, in English, we do not say, I invite you to do something. I invite you to my birthday party. That's it. Remember, please tell me, please let me know, please allow me to, etc. But what about if you have some bad news in the email? How could you be formal while talking about bad news? I regret to inform you that. Or, unfortunately, we were not able to, whatever. Another very important thing to learn how to do in a formal email is to complain. Yes, because unfortunately, sometimes you have to complain formally. Here is how you do it. I am writing with regard to the service I received. Unfortunately, it was not in line with the standard promised by your company. I'm a master at complaining on emails, so pay attention. Another very key phrase to learn when you want to begin a complaint is by saying, as per my last email, which basically means I literally told you this last email. Can you read? But formally, of course. As previously discussed in the meeting, see notes attached. Again, you're basically saying, look, I know that I didn't do anything wrong. You have to get your stuff in order. Now that you have the basic introduction and some key phrases to use in your formal email, here's how you sign off. Here's how you close it. You can always close with something like this, my favorite. I look forward to hearing from you at your earliest convenience. This has the added benefit of having the idea of, I want to hear back from you. Let's go. At your earliest convenience is a formal way of saying, come on, right back. You can also say something like, thank you for your consideration, or thank you for taking the time to meet with me. And then to sign off, sincerely, best regards, kind regards, and your name. And so, gentle viewers, this has been how to write a formal email. If you liked it, don't forget to show us by hitting that like button. Leave us a comment of some other formal email phrases you might know in the comments, and be sure to follow us for more videos. Thanks, guys.